Well, I wanted to make a brief video and just tell you a little bit about me. You know, as grandchildren, you don't get to spend much time with your grandparents, and you think you know them, but I never really got to know mine, and I regret that because I think they had a lot that they could have taught me and shared with me that would have improved my life a little bit. And most of you know me as a Christian. I've always been a Christian in your eyes, and you may think I'm a little religious sometimes, I'm sure. But I wasn't always a Christian. And I wanted to tell you about how I was raised. I was raised in the desert. We had a little country store, and my parents were good parents. They worked very hard, and they taught us a lot of things. They taught us how to good hygiene and good work ethics, and they taught us to be honest and things like that. But we never did have a church in our community. We had a nice community. People lived at neighboring farms and what have you. We grew up in a grocery store. Basically in a grocery store. Our bedrooms were off of the store. But my parents were wonderful, and they taught us a lot, but not enough to make life to make me feel loved. I know they loved me, but I never did feel love. I don't know that, and well, you probably have had those feelings too. But I got married at a very young age. I got married at 16 to one of your dads, actually, grandfathers, Woody Jr. And I was really looking for love. I was looking to be accepted in love. And we only were married 4 years, and we got a divorce, and then I had 2 little boys, and one of them is your dad. But I moved from into Phoenix by myself with the 2 boys, and all I knew how to do was wait tables and things like that. So I waited tables, and one night, late after work, I went dancing, and I loved to dance. My parents were good dancers. And I went with 2 other gals, and we danced all night until, you know, the wee hours, 1 o'clock in the morning, and we closed the place down. And it was our habit to go have breakfast after we went dancing. So there wasn't room in this guy's pickup truck to take all 6 of us. So 4 of them climbed in one car, and the fellow that I had danced with all night asked me to get in his car. So I did. And, but he didn't stop at the restaurant we were supposed to meet everybody in. He kept going, and he stopped at an old motel downtown in Phoenix. And I knew I was in trouble because he wasn't going to turn around. And I won't go into all the details, but basically he forced raped me all night long, and it was a very awful night. And when he was finished, he told me he had to kill me because he feared for his life and didn't want anybody to put him in jail. So I spent about 30, 40 minutes convincing him that I liked him and that I'd beat him there again the next night. Well, eventually he did let me go. And but it really messed my life up really bad. It messed me up mentally. You don't think that you're harmed because nothing was actually taken from you, but something was given to you. So not long after that, I moved to Houston, Texas, and I started a little business, an advertising company, which took care of me and the boys. And I thought I was doing okay, but I still felt unloved, and I was very unhappy. I could not find happiness. Even though I had a nice job and a beautiful home and 2 great kids, I loved them, and I thought they were doing okay. But I just never could feel completeness or love or happiness, even though I dated some very nice guys along the way. And I had this girlfriend, and one night she invited me to a Baptist rally, and I did not want to go. She begged me to go because she didn't want to go alone. Well, you know, because she was my friend, I went. And I was very bored basically through the whole program. I wasn't really interested in what they had to say until right at the very end, a little gal got up and she um, she was so cute. She said, well, whether you believe it or not, when you were born, you had a spirit placed within you that is created to live for eternity. And what you decide to do, or what you can make the decision on where you want to spend eternity, whether you want to spend it in heaven or in hell. Well, I had never gone to church, and I had never really heard about all this stuff, and but I knew, I had a little idea about hell. It had to be bad. So just as fire insurance, I said, I asked Christ into my heart so that I wouldn't go to hell. And I didn't know about heaven and all that. And I really didn't feel any goosebumps. I didn't shed a tear. I didn't feel any bit different. And I told God, I said, I don't know that you're real. But if you are, if you'll make yourself real to me, then I'll be a Christian. Now, I didn't have to clean up my act. I didn't have to quit. I was not a good girl. I ran around. I had boyfriends. I lied and I stole little things, ashtrays and glasses from clubs. And I just didn't have, I wasn't a good girl. But when Christ moved into my heart, he began to make himself real to me. And he cleaned me up along the way. I didn't have to clean up to come to him. I didn't have to give up anything to come to him. And from that night forward, my life has been wonderful. He just comes in and he fills your heart and the inside of you so full of love that you really don't have need for someone else to fill that spot. And the reason I'm telling you this is because more than half the people that get married get divorced, and they're not happy. And I'm going to tell you the reason they're not happy and the reason they get divorced. If you don't have Christ in your life to help convict you when you do something wrong, he doesn't condemn you. He just sort of pricks your heart like, that's a bad thing. Don't do that. And you feel like, golly, I don't want to displease him, so I won't do that anymore. He slowly cleans you up and helps you become the best you can be. He says he comes into your heart to lead, guide, and direct you. So if you have that direction alive within you, and you marry someone that has that same spirit within them, then God is working in both of you to keep you good to one another so that you don't go to sleep on an argument and you don't fight overnight. You may fight, but you make up before the next day, and he's the one that can give you a happy marriage. And you can't have a happy marriage unless Christ is in both of you and he is the Lord of your life. So my main purpose for giving you a little bit of my background is to let you know that I wasn't always good. You've only known me as a Christian. And I tried to be happy, and I tried to do things that would make me happy. I bought things and I went places, but those things did not make me happy. Only after Christ came into my heart did I feel love for the first time in my life. And with that love, you can take that love and give it to a mate, and you can have a happy marriage. Some of you are married, some of you are not. Some of you want to get married. Marriage will not make you happy. Christ in your life and in your partner's life is the only way you can be happy. And he'll get you through things together. You become one. When you accept Christ, his spirit comes in you and become one with him, and his spirit's what takes you to heaven. And when you sign that marriage document, in the spirit, a miracle happens. You become one with that person. And if that person doesn't have Christ united in their spirit, you will not have fellowship. Their love will be superficial. It'll be conditional. It won't be deep like the love that you have in you. So I want to encourage you to, one day you'll have a need for something that you can't fulfill. And if you'll ask Christ to come into your heart and become your Savior and your helpmate, He will do that. He'll never leave you or forsake you. He will love you forever, and He'll help you through all the hard places. And He will help you have a good marriage and a good life. John and I have a wonderful life together. He's a Christian. He was a Christian when I married him. We're very happy. And I love all of you. I want so much for all of you to have a happy life. I won't be here forever. And I'm making this so that when I'm gone, you at least have a little knowledge of what I went through and what made us so happy in life. I love you all very much. And I hope you'll keep these little videos and this silly little CD that I've made. And when you need it, go back and look at it, and it'll help you through life. I love you all very much.